deep and thought-provoking questions across various topics that people might not even realize they should be asking. The unknown unknowns. Life. What small, unnoticed moments am I undervaluing today that will become deeply cherished memories later? Is my current life path chosen by conscious decisions or unconscious societal conditioning? How can I live so that my future self feels gratitude rather than regret? Money. What assumptions am I making about money that might be keeping me from truly understanding wealth? How would my relationship with money change if I viewed it as energy or freedom, rather than as security or status? What invisible habits are silently draining my wealth or sabotaging my financial goals? Business. What valuable opportunities am I missing because I'm too focused on the obvious problems? In what subtle ways is my ego preventing my business from evolving or succeeding? How can I build a business model that naturally attracts rather than aggressively pursues? Psychology. What unhealed emotional wounds are driving most of my subconscious behaviors? How does the fear of rejection or abandonment secretly shape my life choices? Which of my strongest beliefs are actually inherited, rather than consciously chosen? The universe. If the universe is inherently neutral, how much meaning is being created or distorted by perceptions? In what ways is my worldview limiting my ability to experience wonder and awe? How would my understanding of life shift if I truly internalize the idea that everything is interconnected? Health and fitness. How do subtle daily habits compound invisibly over decades to either strengthen or weaken my health? Is my definition of health too focused on external appearance rather than internal vitality? What beliefs do I unconsciously hold that limit how healthy, energized, and alive I allow myself to become? Love and dating. How am I unknowingly attracting or repelling the kind of relationships I say I desire? Are my expectations of love based more on fantasy or reality? And how would I even recognize the difference? What fears do I have about intimacy and connection that I've never fully acknowledged? Friends and relationships. What hidden criteria do I unconsciously use to choose friends? And are these criteria serving my happiness? How often am I present with friends, rather than thinking about past or future? In what ways am I taking key relationships for granted simply because they feel stable? Experiences and memories. Am I pursuing experiences that genuinely fulfill me, or am I chasing socially approved? How can I intentionally craft experiences that become lasting, meaningful memories, rather than fleeting distractions? What moments have I already experienced that hold lessons I haven't fully grasped yet? Happiness. Is my concept of happiness mine, or is it borrowed from cultural or societal expectations? How much happiness am I sacrificing today for the illusion of happiness in the future? Could the things I'm pursuing for happiness actually be distracting me from experiencing unknown unknowns? Meta question. What questions am I avoiding out of discomfort, and how is avoiding them holding me? How is my identity or self-image limiting the questions I allow myself to consider? If I were living my most authentic life, what questions would suddenly become unnecessary? These are questions people rarely ask themselves consciously, but answering them authentically can profoundly transform how they experience life.